But Yukster, the common saying just to practice 10,000 hours to actually become good at a skill is not just a mere statement, it's a fact. And I'm not here to falsify it. So I'm just questioning, why would you waste your time having fun on your longboards if you could rather spend that time making longboard effort and practice? Before actually starting to explain what practice actually is, let's just dissect it, that word first. I mean, what is practice? Everyone talks about practice, and it's even became so natural to say that practice makes perfect. And in my opinion, it could not be further from the truth. But before you and I are having this conversation about practice, I must admit, it's already pretty good if you are giving yourself the room to practice, like to actively practice and go out and to enjoy longboarding by practicing. But there are already a lot of people who are doing that. And if you want to take one step more, you should actively think about what practice is. So on this channel, I don't want you all to just go out and have fun on your longboard. I mean, sure you should. That's what longboarding is all about. But instead of just mindlessly going out to skate, let's do it like the smart people do it, you know? You and I, we're smart. We want to do it the efficient way. And the magic word we're searching for is focus. And before actually dissecting the word focus as well, it's one of the best things actually that you can just go out to skate every day or every second day, as long as you're not exhausting your muscles, because they do in fact need some breaks. So if you're skating for 6 hours straight, which I think you won't do because you haven't alive, unlike me, then it's probably better to just skate like for half an hour every day instead of giving you a big session. However, this is very generic, like the answer that I just given, and it can be much more nuanced. So whenever you go out to skate, step out of your comfort zone. And by comfort zone, I mean skate with your switch position, skate, do some tricks that you haven't done before and do them consistently. At least try them once and try to land them. And have a real purpose, like a real intention when you go out. Just don't go out and just skate, you know? So whenever you go out to skate, have a real plan, have intentions, you know? Like go out and for like 5 to 10 minutes, work on the flaws that you have done before and do them actively and like with intentions and with focus. So many people call practice just practice, but in my opinion, it can be dissected into two things, namely practice and learning. So the first one is building a repertoire, like building many steps like cross steps, Peter Pans. What else can you do? 180 steps and some tricks like a no comply, and to really build it so that you're comfortable with this. So basically the basics. In essence, the acquisition of new skills so that you have the knowledge to utilize them on your skate sessions, or at least become familiar. While with practice, so the second, it is like building a foundation, trying to get faster, work on your technical abilities, don't use your arms that much, and if you do, make them look flowy, and to really work on things that you've already done so that you already have the foundation of. So long story short, actually just get better at things that you already know. And yeah, I mean, the third aspect would be to also learn how to perform, like on competitions, but I think that's pretty irrelevant right now, or at least we can do that in another video. So because I personally derive a lot from music, like very hard instruments such as the violin, I would say build a repertoire of learning how to use scales, how to use intonation, and how to hold the bow and the violin itself, you know, before actually diving into big songs. But it literally doesn't make sense at all to play a song at a full speed if you don't even know the basics. So that's why I dissect practice and learning, if you really talk about practice. So if you want to become efficient in longboard dancing, not only should you work on just one leg by pushing with just that one leg, but I would highly recommend you even. I mean, I think it's a given, like a must, that you also should work on your switch position. And it wouldn't be called longboard dancing. I mean, some people just call it longboard stepping, which is totally alright. To only do it with one leg, that's not dancing. And not even stepping. It's just hopping. So practice is the refinement, the polishing of what you can already do and do them consistently. While learning is the acquisition of skills that you don't know yet, but will be. So why am I so anal about the distinction between practice and learning? Since a lot of people are just immediately, I'm telling you, go to practice mode where they just completely forget about learning, which in my opinion is one of the most important things. So I give you a good example. Imagine a soccer player who is just playing games all the time without actually working on the basics, like running for a long time, doing dribbles and all that stuff. The ones that are only playing games for fun are not the ones who are advancing and getting to like higher leagues. The greatest athletes constantly try to learn new things and create combinations with all those variations. So to illustrate that point, imagine you would work on like a skill hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, but just because you want to practice them, So instead of actually learning them, you just try to do this trick and to land it. And out of those 99 times, only one time you succeeded. So it's basically still a 99% failure rate. Do you really think that with the next time or even the 23rd next time, you're gonna nail the trick? It's like getting out of the exam, which you only have learned in order to pass without actually remembering what you should have learned, so you can get to the next level, so to the things that are built on that foundation. And a lot of students are doing that, me myself included, when I was younger. I act like I'm so old now, which I'm not. But with some skills in life, like longboarding, those skills will just remain, and that's very essential in a bad way. So you should be really focused on and aware of not doing the mistakes over and over again, because if so, you will not be becoming better necessarily, but you will just it just becomes so natural to make that mistake over and over again. So in essence, practice doesn't make perfect, but it will just make you permanent. And only if you have learned something the right way, then it becomes permanent, but in a good way. So why would you want to learn a skill in order to actually make that skill become innate by failing it? So what does that mean? That means basically that you should be working on your flaws, but very slowly. So don't over bombard you with information, with new skills that you haven't had learned the necessary basics of, if you haven't reached that kind of level yet. And it's totally fine to not having reached that level, but just be very mindful of that. So don't jump to new skills if you have not learned the basics. It will just lead to paralysis and over burnout, because you want to reach a level in which you skate where it becomes natural, where the muscle memory just comes up without you having to actively think about it, and that you can do just effectively by practicing slow, and over time it becomes fast by itself. And I would completely understand that if you are doing longboard dancing and freestyle just for fun, which is totally fun because it's so gratifying to do that unique skill and to be able to do a trick, but to actually grow, in my opinion, would be more connected towards happiness, because happiness is is closely connected to growth in any kind. In essence, how do you actually practice less and with more efficiency? I would say you can dial it down into 4 steps. The first one is warm up. You just have to get your body ready to start initiating all those tricks and those steps. If you haven't done that before, then you're very likely to bail and make some injuries. So the second thing is to actually focus on your technique. So to review all tricks you've done before, to do the steps that you normally can do, and to basically actively focus on those things and to maintain that skill level, the ability to perform. And the third thing is that the things that you're currently working on. Let's say the steps that you can already do before should be very easy. You can do them and try to do them with more speed. While on the other hand, the things that you're unfamiliar with, which is a bit harder to do, is to do them with a lot of accuracy and to do them slowly and with a lot of focus. And with your unfamiliar skills, it's completely normal that from the outer perspective, people will look at you and be like, it doesn't look nice at all. But in fact, you are the one who's skyrocketing the skill because you are actively working towards it. And you shouldn't be worrying about what other people think about you at that stage. Or, I mean, in general, to be honest, at all. And then with the fourth one is to go out and have fun doing the things that you normally do and just enjoy your skating. Because that is also part of how to improve. Because over time, things just get natural. So yeah, that was it. I hope that you enjoyed this video and see you with the next one. Bye.